As if life isn't complicated enough these days, here is a Christian economic paradox which the Institute of Biblical Economy wants you to chew on for the new century, now that it is in full bloom. And yes, that double pun is intentional, since this is a topic on the tithing of modern first fruits. Please hear this. A paradox is a statement that is seemingly contradictory or opposed to common sense and yet is perhaps true. As believers of Christ and his promises of faithfulness under all circumstances in which we find ourselves, we voluntarily accept what both the Old and New Testaments teach about our economic stewardship. That is, we should gladly and cheerfully give of our first fruits. But these days, how many of us are farmers who have crops to tithe on? Not many. So doesn't that mean that we should account for all gains which we have been blessed with and from any and all revenue sources? Most working believers today now earn electronically transferred funds and don't even get a paper paycheck. Hopefully, a tithe is given on the gross amount earned and before the net taxed amount or the take-home pay amount. But what of the amount we save and invest? Is that not a modern-day equivalent of a crop? After all, a voluntary Christian tithe is literally galaxies away from an involuntary secular tax. As we truly are, a peculiar people, and God's economy is not man's economy, as God's ways are not man's ways, and we know who wins in the end. Provocatively asked another way, why should every Christian not give back on any and all income, dividend, interest payment, token, or earned gain that comes our way? A look at both Deuteronomy as well as Nehemiah makes it crystal clear what I Am's intent is regarding stewardship by using the inspired words, all of your produce and of every tree, year by year. This implies that it is to be a dynamic but not static process, just like when seasonal crops ripen. So, I am not only new and allowed the existence of cryptocurrency, he also knows what is next. On the flip side, there is no verse to suggest that a loss is to be remunerated. Further into the weeds, what if unrealized but earned profits in a 401k or IRA, Roth IRA, trust account, or a crypto wallet and gold kept in a safe deposit box have never been tithed, and that Christian dies before using those funds? Heaven forbid that possible non-Christian heirs receive the funds and bada bing, bada boom. The whole shebang never participated in gifting even one penny toward any type of kingdom work, stretching over many years, decades, and even during booming business cycles. What a spiritual travesty of epic proportions. It is hard to comprehend that I Am would be pleased with that believer, and that's not all. What about forfeited treasures in heaven issues? How should multi-generational trust accounts concerning Christian gifting handle this first fruits premise? So, without discussing a legalistic mandatory dollar amount, since gifting is purely a heart issue, what Chantel and I, as a loving and married heterosexual couple, concluded after earnest prayerful consideration, we agree that it is more pleasing to I Am if we do give back a portion to him on all gains and from all sources earned. For us, that is done quarterly now, as frequent market volatility is no respecter of those who tithe. If you also want to prayerfully consider privately exploring this in more detail, the Institute of Biblical Economy provides interesting free resources, including this chart showing what the actual gifting dollars look like based on 6% gains and 8% portfolio gains on various portfolio values from $100,000 to $10 million. At first, we learned that our combined 401k gains rose to a level where tithing for those gains could be easily given to our church and outside missionaries from our emergency fund, which we have never had to deplete. Since then, we now have a monthly budget line item to account for our unrealized gains tithe, as it is now our normal way of gifting life. The three-letter acronym the Institute has come up with to keep this top of mind and to easily share with others is called TAG, which stands for Tithe All Gains. To learn more about this TAG effort, they can zip you free resources upon request. And just to be clear about God's attitude towards earning gains, look no further than the parable of the three servants in Matthew 25, verses 14 through 30, His design is to give to us and for us to be obedient with what we are entrusted with, every second, every minute, and every hour, and with every penny we are assigned. Wash, rinse, and repeat. May you have a blessed day as you consider the possible merits of this faithful servant gifting tag concept in our sanctification journey of trying, together as a Christian community, to be good and faithful servants. I'd like to close with Bhagwan Aapko Ashirwad Dein, Ma Salema, Shalom, Jufuni, and hey, have a good one.